Hello, my pretties. I know this has been a video that I've been meaning to, make for the last little while. I think maybe, I guess 2019 or something for those who have been around, my community since 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I mean, for the OG guys, that have been around my channel since I started, narrating stories and etc., etc. But today I am going to be explaining a really popular question. Well, not really popular question on my channel or anything, but this has probably been what a lot of people wonder since I like The Lion King. Now, I have a soft spot for the 2019 remake of the Lion King movie. Yeah, the remake of The Lion King that came out in 2019. This movie is definitely something I've had a soft spot for God knows how long. This movie is pretty much goes with the same plot as, the original one. We've all seen a lot of people like me have seen the original Lion King movie that, the original one that came out in 1994. I mean, a lot of people that grew up in the 90s and 2000s, etc. This movie, the original movie, has been, a really big hit for a lot of Disney fans. And lots of Disney fans always enjoy The Lion King. I mean, The Lion King's been actually one of my favorites for years now. I mean, I guess I don't even know how long it's been on my list, but it's probably been on, my favorite lists for a while now. It's because I like the storyline of The Lion King. And I do like the characters. They're very well made. It's based on the Hamlet story, which, I mean, pretty much it's an inspiration from the Hamlet story. It's just really interesting that Disney adapted, the Hamlet story. And basically that's what The Lion King is. It's basically the Hamlet story, but except it's with Lion King characters. And it's really amazing on how well made this movie is. The original one, I've never met a person who's never liked the movie. I never met a person who did not like The Lion King. I've met maybe one person years ago, I was in my teens, said they've never seen The Lion King. I'm like, get the hell out of here. You've never seen it? Seriously, who has never seen The Lion King? I've pretty much asked people a lot of the, every time I talk to some people, or, whatever be on, on Discord or Twitter, whatever site I have and they have me on, I always ask them if they've seen The Lion King, if it comes to my mind. Most of them has said they've seen The Lion King movie. I have never, and I have never met a person who has never seen The Lion King. Until back in 2000, I think in 2013 or something. But I was in high school at the time, and that was before I became a YouTuber. I only met one person who's never seen it. Pretty much everybody I have talked to, they've seen The Lion King. Whatever be the original movie that came out in 1994, Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. That one was a pretty good sequel to The Lion King. Lion King 1.5, which is one movie I didn't really care for. But I did explain that in a review saying, why I didn't really care for it. And yeah, it's an older one. But although I'm considering reviewing a bit of The Lion King, 1.5, maybe basically me tearing a brand new one. Because in my opinion, I just found it not to be really good. So anyway, I guess we should get started with why I have a soft spot for this movie. Now, this movie is a 2019 remake of the original movie that came out in 1994. One of the best things I really liked about, The Lion King, the remake, is, the fact that James Earl Jones came back to reprise his role as Mufasa for the remake, which is fantastic. I was thinking they were going to get someone else to play Mufasa, but I never expected James Earl Jones to come back to do his role. Now, I do know for a fact that they're making a kind of like a prequel to the live action Lion King movie titled Mufasa. And it's kind of making me wonder if James Earl Jones is going to be, returning to do that voice, or are they going to get somebody new to do that voice in Mufasa? We really don't really know, but much given is the fact that, it takes place before the Lion King movie, like before the events of the first one, Basically, the first movie involves, Simba as a young cub is wanting to become king of the Pride Lands. However, Mufasa's brother Scar gets very jealous about it. He kills Mufasa in a plan, and Simba gets exiled, and because Mufasa's death was blamed on him, when entirely it was Scar setting him up for him to take the blame. However, later on, though Simba does come back as an adult, he challenges Scar, and then he becomes, the king of the Pride Land with his, wife Nala, who becomes the queen. Now, okay. Now we have, the characters. Awesome characters. I really like the characters. I thought they were really well made in detail. We do have, Simba, who's the main character, Nala, who happens to be his, wife later on. What I really like about the remake is that Beyonce is actually Nala, adult Nala in this movie. Like the remake of it, I like the idea of Beyonce being played as Nala. I mean, I wasn't expecting her to voice Nala, but when I actually heard about that, I'm like, yes. I mean, I've always pictured her as voicing a Disney character because, I liked her music when I was younger. Like, I was in my teens, but that was just a completely different story. Now, I mean, Seth Rogen's actually Pumbaa in this one, which is pretty funny because most of you guys know Seth Rogen does a lot of, adult comedy films like Knocked Up. That one was a pretty funny movie. I might consider reviewing in the future because that one was pretty funny. But I also know Seth Rogen has done a bunch of, adult comedy, satire, films, like mostly films made for grown-ups that have, grown-up adult humor in them. I like Seth Rogen in a lot of the movies. Knocked Up is definitely one of them, but when I heard he was going to be in this one, like in this remake, I honestly was surprised because kind of seeing him as a Pumbaa character, it honestly fits so well. And of course, the voice actress for Sarabi, Alfre Woodard, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She was actually a voice actress for Pilo or something. I know it was one of the lemur characters from Dinosaur, that Disney movie. I can't honestly remember if that's who she played as or if she was voicing another character. Let me know in the comments below. But she's Mufasa's, wife or, mate, Sarabi, in this one, which it honestly fits pretty well because I honestly like the acting of this one. I mean, the acting did a pretty good job in this one, just as much as they did like the sequel, not the sequel to this one, but like the original one. They had pretty good voice actors, like Matthew Broderick, who's Simba in the original. It honestly really fit very good, and I liked a lot of Matthew Broderick's movies. He's in Inspector Gadget, like the live-action one. I thought that one was a pretty good live-action adaptation of that. When it came to this movie, like this live-action remake, I can understand a lot of Disney fans really didn't like this one because they prefer the original movie, because that's what they grew up and learned to love and that. However, in this remake, it honestly still is like the same plot line and all, and it seems to fit very well. I honestly like it that it fits very well with, plot line wise. It's pretty much following the same plot line, except in the live action one, they have, all the lions being CGI animated. I mean, they kind of don't look like too much of, how the original characters were drawn in the original Disney movie, but I still found it to be pretty amazing and well done for the live action and animated. I mean, if I take a look at, the original Lion King and compare it to this, it honestly still has a very good place in in my heart, because I've always loved The Lion King. I mean, most of you guys probably know that The Lion King has been one of my favorite Disney movies for years, and it still is one of my favorite Disney movies today. I know there's other Disney movies I like, such as Aladdin, the original, but I also like the remake of it, as well as a couple other movies like Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, Tarzan. You get the whole list. I definitely say that this movie definitely holds a really good soft spot in my heart, and I have a soft spot for this movie, like the live action remake. Honestly, I like the characters. I honestly love how they're, brought to life in a sense. It honestly was, I really kind of expected it a live action Lion King movie, even though at first I thought maybe it wouldn't be, as good as the original. But when I watched this remake of it in theaters, I honestly was wrong. It was honestly still a really good movie. I mean, it follows the plot line of the original one, although there is some slightly different changes. But what's really got me glad is that they brought James Earl Jones to play the voice of Mufasa in this one, because James Earl Jones today, he's like 92 years old, and I'm surprised he's still kicking after so many years. Like, he is definitely the best Darth Vader I've ever heard of him singing, because he did a pretty good job voicing Darth Vader. He did a great job voicing Mufasa in the original. But when I heard that he was going to voice him again in the remake, it just honestly made me wanted to see this movie. And watching the 2019 remake of it, I still like the original movie, because that one was what I saw first. And obviously, I was a kid when I had it on VHS, and I still have it on VHS, surprisingly. And I also have the sequel of it on VHS as well. But yeah, when it came to the 2019 remake, I honestly didn't really had any expectations of it being bad or good. I was thinking, well, maybe I should give this a go and chance and then see it for myself. But like I said before, this is just my own opinion on this movie, and if you guys happen to disagree with me, like if you don't like the live action remake of the movie, that's completely understandable, because I understand not everybody likes the movie I'm going to like. And your guys are free to make your own opinions on it. I respect your opinion regardless on if you like the movie or not, whatever it may seem to be. When I actually started looking into maybe watching them live action remake, I honestly was thinking, well, maybe there may be some flaws with it. And I mean, well, there is some flaws about it, saying that, one of them being it's kind of not really the best live action movie. I mean, Disney live action movies are a hit or miss nowadays, but this is definitely one of the fewer ones in my eyes was actually pretty well done. And I honestly could say they did the lions characters really well, like Scar. I mean, Scar kind of looks like a normal lion, although his features kind of shown off a little bit how the original movie seems to have given that off. Although this is still a pretty fun movie to watch. I thought this one was a pretty good movie for what this one is, especially with, the special effects that they added in the CGI movie. I honestly still thought this was pretty good. I mean, the acting was pretty good in both versions. Like the live action and the animated one, both voice acting was good. The music was really good. I honestly really do like the Broadway musical of it as well, which I thought, that was pretty good. I was expecting in the remake for them to add, songs like Endless Night, Simba's song, or Shadowland from Nala's song from the Broadway, because lots of people wish that, that Endless Night as well as Shadowland was added into the Lion King movie. And when I heard about the remake coming out, I thought maybe they would add one of those two songs, both of them, or one of them at least in the song in the movie. However, that did not become the case. I mean, that's kind of one of the only negatives I have to say, is that they could have used, either Endless Night or Shadowland or both of them in the remake, because they added Evermore, which is a Beauty and the Beast song for the 2017 remake of it because, well, I know it wasn't in the original, but they managed to squeeze that in the remake, which I thought it was pretty neat and interesting and gives out a good vibe and feeling. And here, right here, I thought The Lion King was gonna like maybe bring like a Broadway song to it, but unfortunately it never did. But other than that, I still found this to be a pretty awesome remake regardless of it. Now, like I'm just gonna say right now, I pretty much said all of what I needed to say about why this movie has a soft spot in my heart, but the reason being is I cannot really judge a live action remake of a Disney movie until I've seen it from my own eyes. I mean, sure, people may have their own opinions in that, and I'm not going to sit there and bash them for disliking the movie that I like. No, I'm going to respect their opinion and just leave it at that. I'm not changing their opinion. They can dislike it. I don't personally have an issue with it. They can like whatever I like. That's fine. If they don't like what I like, perfectly fine too. But anyways, I guess with that being the case and that being said, I honestly can definitely say, for those who have never seen the 2019 live action remake and have heard some negatives about people saying it's not good or anything, I suggest you give this movie a chance before you make any assumptions. Before you make any assumptions to saying, oh, you're not going to like it or whatever, give the movie a chance before you make up your mind or assumptions. Not saying you have to, but that's just what I know personally when it comes to, seeing movies. I give it like my own opinion after I've seen it. So, with that being said and that being the case, that's pretty much all I have to say about, the Lion King 2019 remake. If there is something that I did not mention in this video or did not cover, feel free to let me know what they are in the comments below. If there's something that I did not say or if I'm missing anything, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I just thought I would make this video, explaining about my thought, kind of why I have like a soft spot for the 2019 remake of The Lion King. So, because I'm, a Lion King fan and me being a Disney fanatic, I thought I would go ahead and maybe give out my valid reasons why it has a soft spot in my heart. But although I have to say, some Disney live action movies are not great. Some are good, some are decent, some are a hit or miss. It really depends on how you guys look at it. Because everybody can look at things differently. I look at some things differently, and there's no problem with that. And you guys probably do the same thing I do. So, I guess with that being said and that being the case, what did you guys think of the remake of this movie? If you like it, that's fine. If you don't like it, that's understandable. I respect your opinion regardless. So, anyways, with that being said and that being the case, I am the Lion Queen. I want to thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're new to my channel, feel free to leave this video a like. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications when I upload. If you want to share my video on this, feel like on, Twitter, Discord, whatever. For, saying to your friends and family, say, hey, go check out this girl, which is me. I made this video, go give me some support, go give her support, whatever. Feel free to share the video, whatever platforms, if you want to. Not saying you have to, but if you want to go ahead and give me some recognition, I'm perfectly cool with that. So, anyways, I'll be seeing you guys all in the next video. Peace out, and like always, my pretties, please roll the outro, because I'm out.